Welcome to the April Angel reading. Over the next 20 minutes or so, we are going to be looking at the theme for April. I'll be explaining what has been coming up and the significance of this theme. We are going to be looking at the numerology for the month ahead. I'll be explaining about the key astrological dates and their significance. And I'll also share with you the angel cards that have come up for the month and their meaning. So if you haven't met me before, for any of you who don't already know me, my name is Sandra Ray. I'm an author, healer, and spiritual teacher, and I help people to connect with the angels and to receive clear guidance. So let's get into the month ahead. I've been tuning in and I've been looking at what it means, the month, the energy of the month, and just really just feeling into the energy. So as I was tuning in, the themes that were coming up, there was two key themes. So the first is knowledge, and from that there was remembering coming up. So it was really all about remembering that you have all the knowledge inside you. So that you know that you have the power. So often we look to other people, uh, corporations, leaders for validation, and we're so used to giving our power away, looking outside of ourselves for the sources or the answers. And we've forgotten how to tune in. We've forgotten that we have that knowledge, that understanding inside us. And we don't trust in that innate ability to receive the answers, to know the truth, to be in our truth. So I know that so many of us, so many people are awakening to the truth right now. So many people are realizing that the sources that they once turned to, the government, the systems, the leaders, they're not serving our best interests. And only we can decide what is in our best interest. Only we truly know that. And we have to turn to that inner truth. We have to turn to that still, quiet voice of truth and be with it and know it intimately and listen to it. And remembering that we do have the answers, knowing that we are the truth and becoming that truth, becoming empowered and believing in ourselves once again. So April is really going to help us to open up to that. And I'll explain why in a minute. Firstly, I want to look at the numerology for April. So April is a 4 month, and the number 4 is all about protection. It's about structure. It's about reassurance. And knowing that we are protected, knowing that there's nothing to fear, knowing that our angels and guides are there for us, they're with us, they're supporting us, and feeling reassured, knowing that all is well, even if it doesn't appear to be that way on the outside, knowing that we have that inner peace, that inner stillness that we can always turn to. And then the angels may also be asking you to pay attention to the structures in your life and really questioning, well, is this serving me? If there might be relationships or situations. And also it can pertain to world structures. Are these structures serving us? And really questioning that. And if it isn't for your highest good, then what needs to change? What do you need to do, or what do you need to let go of? Or, if there is some action that needs to be taken, what is that action? So with this 4 number coming up, we'll see this reflected through the astrological events that are coming up as well. So let's have a look at the astrological dates, because on the 31st of March and the 1st of April, we have the new moon in Aries. And I'll talk about this in a moment. Then we have the 4-4 gateway on the 4th. We have the Jupiter, Neptune conjunction on the 12th. They conjuncted Pisces. And on the 16th, we have the full moon in Libra. And then following that, on the 19th, we have Taurus season starting. And then at the end of the month, we have beautiful new moon solar eclipse in Taurus. So let's have a look. What does all of this mean? So firstly, we have the new moon Aries. That's the end of March, but also the start of April, depending on your time zone. So it could fall on the 31st March, could fall on the 1st. So Aries new moon is all about these new starts, new beginnings. It's about birthing dreams and desires. And I mentioned before, the guardian of Aries is Machidial, and a really powerful angel to work with during this time. So we'll have that new moon energy at the very start of the month, because of course, even if you're in a time zone where it falls on the 31st, we still have that powerful new moon energy that will be available to all of us for a week or so, either side of the new moon at its peak. So you can work with Machidial to help you to balance your heart with your head, to be in tune with your goals, your desires, and to honor the callings of your heart with a balanced mind. And I explained about this in the last podcast, so I won't go into it in too much more detail. But following that, we have on the 4th of April, the 4-4 gateway. So on the 4th of the 4th, we have this energy, this numerology, this gateway opening up the 4 numerology. And we, as I mentioned, with the four, you have these structures that are going to be highlighted. And it's really going to allow us to break down old structures and allow the new to come in, allow the new to be built. So a great day to ask yourself, what is no longer serving you, and really tuning in to what is coming up for you. And you might be surprised that the clarity that you receive when you ask this question, just asking yourself, what is no longer serving me? What needs to be released? And if there are structures that need to be broken down, they will be apparent. And it may be that you know it already on some level, but you might be resisting it. So being open, asking with an open mind and an open heart, what is no longer serving you. And then on the 12th of the month, we have really interesting alignment of Jupiter and Neptune, and they are in conjunction in Pisces. So this will be an amazing time for spiritual awakening, to shift the planetary consciousness. It's going to be such a powerful window. And it's a perfect opportunity to work with your angels, with your guides, to open up to your spiritual gifts. You'll find that your intuition will be heightened, and new insights will just be pouring through. And this will be on a collective level. So it could even lead to new innovations, new creations. So really just taking this powerful opportunity to work with your angels and guides to open up to new levels of spiritual awareness, and really just enjoy that wave of energy that Jupiter and Neptune conjunction will bring. So following that up quickly, we have on the 16th, just a few days later, we have the full moon in Libra. So the guardian angel of Libra is Zuriel, who you've heard me mention before. And you know that Libra is all about relationships. It's about compassion. And this full moon energy is also bringing opportunity for healing and release. So asking yourself, how can I be more compassionate towards myself? How can I be more compassionate towards loved ones, to those who I love? How can I be more compassionate? And really holding yourself in that compassion and then spreading it out to others. And knowing that the more that you do this, the more you ask this question, the more you practice this, the more you allow compassion to evolve, to grow within you. And then it becomes, second nature. Well, I say second nature, but it's your first nature, really, because that's who you truly are. But it becomes, obviously, that's just a saying, second nature, but that is who you are. So that's how you will live the more that you tune into that. Remember, what we focus on grows. So if we're focusing on compassion, if we're focusing on compassion for ourselves, for loved ones, that's what you're nurturing. That's what's going to grow inside you. That's what you're going to be seeing and feeling and receiving. And the same is true when we focus on fear. That's what we're going to see growing. That's what we're going to experience. So focusing on compassion, focusing on love for yourself and for those around you, and really just benefiting from that full moon energy to help you to open up in new ways. So following the full moon, we have Taurus season starting on the 19th. So Taurus season is, as we'll find that as the sun leaves Aries, the Taurus energy will bring this slower pace. It'll bring this opportunity to relax, to enjoy life. It's really, Taurus is always a beautiful spiritual time, and coupled with the conjunction of Neptune and Jupiter, we're going to find that it's just going to be, there's going to be so much opportunity to ask our angels and guides to work with us, to support us, to show us the next step. So really just taking a hold of that opportunity and putting that time aside, even if it's only a few minutes every day, to tune in, to call on your angels, to call on your guides, and allow them to be there for you, because they want to be there. They want to guide you. They want you to listen to their guidance, to be open to listening. And really what I find is we're most open to listening when we're in stillness, when we quiet our mind. So following that, on the 30th, we have a beautiful new moon solar eclipse in Taurus. So Taurus, again, as we spoke about, it's this earth sign which is determined, it's dependable, it loves the comforts and luxuries of life. It's a slower pace that I mentioned. And that will be really auspicious for this new moon, because it'll allow us to ground our dreams and desires into reality. So it'll be a powerful manifesting opportunity. And that new moon day, the 30th, is going to be a power day for manifesting whatever it is that you're desiring. And of course, working with your angels and guides if you're not too sure if that goal or desire is for your highest good, opening up to their guidance as well. And inside Fiercely Spiritual Family, we'll be working with the guardian angel of Taurus to ground all of our dreams into reality and to really take advantage of that new moon energy. And as well, because it's an eclipse, the eclipse energy offers the chance to let go, to stop seeing yourself as limited or flawed or whatever way you've been viewing yourself, and start stepping into the truth of who you really are. This is the remembering that I spoke of at the start, the theme for the month, that knowledge, that remembering of who you truly are. And yeah, the new moon, it's just such a beautiful energy. I definitely encourage you to take advantage of that energy. The energy throughout the month is going to be such a powerful charge to it. And we're really going to notice that effects, and it'll help to uplift us. But it's also going to help to allow us to let go of what's no longer serving. So I am going to go through the angel cards. Before I do that, I was thinking about all of these opportunities that April brings, this powerful surge of energy, and how we will, open up new levels to working with our angels and guides, and to open up spiritually. And as we are coming together inside Fiercely Spiritual Family as a group, we are working with this energy, and of course the group energy creates extra momentum for each of us to open up, to tap into this amplified April energy. So it's going to be really powerful, and I've decided to open up 30 places for new members to join us. So if you've been wanting to work with your angels and your guides, this is a great opportunity to grow that connection, to expand your spiritual gifts, to tap into that support of April energy, and also to connect with all the others who are already in the group. So the doors are opening today. There are only 30 places. So if you want to be one of those 30 people who join, you can sign up today at the link below. I'll put a link in the show notes, and you can go there to access it and you can join. So the angel cards that came up, I'm going to show you the card deck that I've been working with. So I actually worked with this deck during an angel reading inside Fiercely Spiritual Family during the week. And I was saying that I hadn't worked with these cards in so long. For those of you listening on the podcast, it's healing with the angel cards. And the reason being was that I just kind of wasn't connecting with their energy. So I left them aside, and I explained to the group that when I was thinking about which angel cards to work with prior to the live session, those cards popped to mind. And I thought, well, I don't know if I really connect with those cards anymore. And then as I was tuning in, what was coming up was that it wasn't about the cards or the creator of the cards or whatever I was kind of putting on them. Because each time I use the cards, they're infused with the energy that I bring. And also I will always ask the angels to cleanse the energy after each session. So the energy that's brought is new each time. And to know that it's not about the cards themselves, it's about that energy that comes forward. So I decided to use these cards for the angel reading. And the three cards that came up, the first card is this one, Divine Guidance. And it's funny because this card actually came up during our angel readings. And what really I was tuning into with this card is that we are our own sources of divine guidance. When we know truly that we are connected to the all, when we know that there is no separation between us and the angel, I think we often think of angels as separate beings and separate entities. And even though they can present themselves that way, it's all energy. And that energy is suffuse in everything, even us. And when you think about our energy fields, our angels can step into our energy fields and become one with our energy fields. They can interact with us in ways that we don't associate with normal physical interactions. We can't physically step into another person's body. But with energy, energy is just so beautiful. It's just omnipresent and it really is suffused in everything. So my point was that with this card, knowing that the divine guidance is inside you, and going back to what I was saying at the start about the theme for the month, that knowledge, that remembering, that's all in you. So really trusting in the guidance that's already there for you to tap into. I think when we think about guidance, we think about, gaining knowledge that we haven't got already. But for me, it's more so about opening up to the knowledge that's already there, that's already available within the cosmos that we are connected to and part of. And it's not about attaining something new, it's about opening up to something that's already there, the frequency or the energy that's already there. So hopefully that makes sense. The second card that came up is miracles. And of course, with the opportunities coming up this month with the Jupiter and Neptune conjunction in Pisces, that's really going to bring about a huge opportunity for transformation, for change, for miracles, miraculous transformations, miraculous manifestations. And we'll see that on a personal level, but I think really this is going to be reflected on a planetary level. And I remember talking about this when we were talking about the Great Awakening a couple of years ago, and remembering at the time when the date came and it was kind of a non-event, nothing really happened, but then suddenly things started to change, the energy started getting stirred up, and we had COVID and lockdowns and all this thing. So I think the miracles that will be brought about by the Jupiter and Neptune conjunction, they may not be on that date, they may not be on the 12th. It may be that it comes after the 12th, but they are on their way. And in truth, they already exist on some level. So it's just allowing the physical manifestation of them. And then the third card is balance. So the balance, as I talked about, of head and heart, keeping those in balance. So you're not just making decisions from a mental plane or a mental energy, and really just working with the Taurus energy to be in that slower pace where you allow that space for balance, allowing yourself to be in nature, allowing yourself to tune in, and knowing that the balance of your mind, your body, your spirit, it's been craving this balance because we've been so physically focused. We've forgotten about our spiritual nature. And even those of us who are empaths and healers and light workers, of course, we get caught up in the physical reality. Some of us would love to spend more time in the spiritual realm and get lost in that as well. So it really is the balance of being in the physical, but being a spiritual being in the physical. And that can be a hard balance at times, because it can be, I know, for myself, it can sometimes be either or, where I sit in meditation and I go off into these, higher frequencies and just totally lose myself in those higher frequencies. And then coming back to the physical and getting frustrated at something. So when we're in balance, we find that we're maintaining those higher frequencies as we go about our physical daily lives, and keeping that balance, keeping that spiritual and physical in balance, and knowing that we can do that. And that's really where we're all going. So hopefully that all makes sense. And I would love to see you inside Fiercely Spiritual Family if you're drawn to working more with these energies, allowing yourself to open up spiritually, and really just taking advantage of this auspicious time. So again, the link is below in the show notes, and I will see you very soon for another episode of the Fiercely Spiritual Podcast. Bye-bye.